Are your retirement benefits about to change dramatically? If you're among the millions of Americans relying on Social Security, Medicare, SSI, or SSDI benefits, the answer might surprise you. In just his first month back in office, President Trump has already signed several executive orders that could significantly impact your financial future. But here's the real question: will these changes help or hurt your bottom line? Before we dive into these critical changes, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates that could affect your benefits. Your financial security might depend on staying informed. Good day, everyone. Welcome back to Financial Security Today, where we break down complex policy changes into information you can actually use. I'm your host, and today we're tackling perhaps the most significant changes to Social Security programs we've seen in years. Let's be honest, most of us tune out when politicians start talking about policy changes, but when those changes directly affect the money in your pocket, especially if you're retired or disabled, suddenly those boring policy discussions become extremely relevant. That's exactly what's happening right now with the Social Security system. The first major change President Trump has implemented involves the Cost of Living Adjustment Calculation Method, commonly known as COLA. For decades, Social Security benefits have received annual increases based on inflation measured by the Consumer Price Index. However, the new executive order directs the Social Security Administration to adopt a modified formula that the administration claims will better reflect the actual expenses of seniors and disabled Americans. What does this mean for you? According to initial projections, this could potentially increase future COLAs by 0.3% to 0.5% annually. While that might not sound like much, consider this: for someone receiving the average monthly benefit of $1,900, that's an additional $95 to $114 per year. Over a 20-year retirement, we're talking about thousands of dollars in additional benefits. But here's the catch: some economists worry this new calculation method could accelerate the depletion of the Social Security Trust Fund. So the question becomes, is a slightly larger check now worth potential long-term sustainability issues? Have you reviewed your retirement plan lately to see how these COLA changes might affect your long-term financial security? If not, this might be the perfect time. The second significant change comes in the form of Medicare prescription drug pricing negotiations. President Trump has issued an executive order that modifies certain aspects of the Inflation Reduction Act's Medicare drug price negotiation provisions. The new directive aims to expand the number of drugs subject to price negotiations, while simultaneously creating new exemptions for certain American-made pharmaceuticals. You're probably wondering how this affects you directly. If you're among the 49 million Americans enrolled in Medicare Part D, this could mean lower out-of-pocket costs for some medications but potentially higher costs for others. The administration projects overall savings of $2,200 per beneficiary annually for those taking multiple prescription medications. However, pharmaceutical industry representatives argue this could impact drug innovation and availability. The key question here is, will your specific medications fall into the savings category or the potentially more expensive one? When was the last time you reviewed your Medicare Part D coverage and prescription needs? With these changes coming, a thorough review with a Medicare specialist might be worthwhile. The third major change affects Supplemental Security Income, or SSI. This program provides critical financial support to approximately 7.5 million Americans who are elderly, blind, or disabled with very limited income and resources. President Trump's executive order directs the Social Security Administration to modernize the asset limit thresholds that determine eligibility. Currently, individuals cannot have more than $2,000 in assets, $3,000 for couples, to qualify for SSI, limits that haven't changed significantly since the 1980s. The new directive increases these limits to $10,000 for individuals and $15,000 for couples, adjusted annually for inflation moving forward. How might this affect you or your loved ones? For current recipients, this provides a much larger financial cushion without losing benefits. For those who previously couldn't qualify due to modest savings, this could open the door to receiving SSI benefits for the first time. However, some budget analysts question whether the SSA has the administrative capacity to handle a potential influx of new applicants while maintaining service levels for existing beneficiaries. Have you or someone you know been disqualified from SSI due to the asset limits? It might be time to reconsider applying under these new guidelines. The fourth significant change impacts Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, which provides benefits to nearly 9 million disabled workers. The President's executive order directs the Social Security Administration to revise the disability review process. Under the new guidelines, beneficiaries with certain stable or progressive conditions will face fewer continuing disability reviews, reducing paperwork burden and stress for those with clear long-term disabilities. However, the order also implements more frequent reviews for conditions that may improve with treatment or over time. The administration states this will ensure benefits go to those truly unable to work while encouraging return to work when possible. What does this mean for you if you're receiving SSDI? If you have a condition like ALS, late-stage cancer, or permanent spinal cord injury, you'll likely see fewer reviews and paperwork requirements. But if you have a condition that could potentially improve with treatment, such as certain mental health conditions or recoverable physical injuries, you might face more frequent reviews. This raises an important question: will these changes provide appropriate security for the permanently disabled while also ensuring program integrity? When was the last time you updated your medical records with the Social Security Administration? With these changes to the review process, having comprehensive and current medical documentation is more important than ever. Beyond these 4 major changes, there are numerous administrative adjustments being implemented that could affect how you interact with Social Security programs. The administration is modernizing the appointment system, expanding online services, and creating new fast-track processes for certain applications and appeals. So what's the bigger picture here? These changes reflect President Trump's stated goals of modernizing Social Security programs while attempting to ensure their long-term viability. Supporters praise these measures as necessary updates to outdated systems, while critics question whether some changes might eventually lead to reduced benefits for certain groups. What's undeniable is that these changes will have real-world impacts on millions of Americans. Some will clearly benefit, especially from the increased SSI asset limits and potentially higher COLAs. Others might face new challenges, particularly those with disabilities that fall into the potentially improvable category under the new review guidelines. Political motivations aside, what matters most is how these changes affect your personal financial situation. That's why staying informed and consulting with financial advisors who specialize in retirement planning and Social Security benefits is more important than ever. As we wrap up today's discussion on these 4 major Social Security changes, remember that knowledge is your best defense against uncertainty. These changes are already being implemented, and understanding how they affect your specific situation is crucial. Have questions about how these changes might impact your benefits? Drop them in the comments below, and we'll address them in our next video. Our team is also preparing comprehensive guides for each of these 4 major changes, so make sure you're subscribed to catch those when they're released. If you found this information valuable, please hit that like button and share this video with friends and family members who rely on Social Security benefits. The more people who understand these changes, the better prepared our community will be. Remember, your financial security deserves your attention. Stay informed, ask questions, and don't hesitate to seek professional guidance when needed. Until next time, this is Financial Security Today, helping you navigate the changing landscape of retirement benefits.